set for mercy. The bread is on the plate. Yahusha's here, no time to wait. Don't hesitate. I stand at the door and knock and knock. If anyone hears my voice, open up, unlock. Yahusha stands at the door and knocks. YAHUAH stands at the door who adores. I will come in and sup with you. I stand at the door, stand at the door. You with me and I with you. Sup with me and I with you. As many as I love, I've reproved and disciplined. So be ardent and repent, let your heart be cleansed. See, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice, open up, unlock. Yahusha stands at the door and knocks. YAHUAH stands at the door who adores. I will come in and sup with you. I stand at the door, stand at the door. You with me and I with you. Sup with me and I with you.
Hey, yes. Shabbat Shalom. Hey, who we got in here? We got YAHUAH. That's the only active we got right now. What's up, bro? How you doing? Shabbat
I
Shalom,
give
Miss
you
Parker.
throne beside.
Hope you're having a great one.
As Yahusha also overcame.
Y'all doing all right?
Sat with Abba love. He was an eagle. Let him hear the word. Let him hear what the rule says. Let it shake the land.
All right. Let's do some Abry. Shabbat Shalom. How y'all doing today? This Yom. We're going to do some search from scratch, as I like to call it. All right. I can see you're ready. You're ready. So, as I mentioned before, I'm using the Brave browser. It looks like this lion down here. Let me just take you there. Brave browser. so you guys know what it looks like. This uses the search engine of Google, so it's private. It has a VPN if you need that, and it's free. So you can get it on your. I've got it on my Android. I'm sure you can get it on Apple. I don't see why you couldn't. And got it on my PC. I think I used it on my old Mac whenever I had it. So, all right. Highly recommend. This is not paid. This is not sponsored or anything, but I highly recommend to get something other than Google at least. You know, if that's DuckDuckGo or whatever. Oh, by the way, Duck.ai, if you have to use an AI for something like I do for some of my thumbnail images and stuff like that, this is an anonymous AI. So as anonymous as an AI is going to be. So it's kind of limited in what it can do, but as far as AIs go, as far as Chat GPT and stuff like that, as little as I use it anyway, I mean, it works pretty much the same. Excuse me. All right, let's also bring up the link tree, linktr.ee/NATZARETH. And this is going to bring you to most of the material that we reference in Ambassadors of Yah, including, hey, let me give you a quick tour. We've got an anti-holiday postcard that you can mail out if you so choose. Oh, this is a little harder than I thought. Okay, here's what the front side. Oh, this has got, okay, and here's the back side where you put the recipient. So it's got like different ways you can download it. YouTube live schedule for Ambassadors of Yah is up here. You can go to Ambassadors of Yah from here, which is the official AOI website by Aki Chris. If you want to get directly just to all the calendar info, including the current calendar, tutorial videos, this is Ed's bead calendar tutorial for assembly. So if you do not have the means, primarily I would recommend this to anyone who's out of the United States. United Snakes. Yeah, that place. If there's like I know I tried to mail something to Canada about a year or so ago, and it was going to be like $200. So, you know, with something like the bead calendar that you could probably assemble, this would help you get there as far as having your own without having to pay a lot in shipping. We've got diagrams. These are documents that you guys, this is also where all the Tahalim, all the music is linked. So all music is in here from anybody within our group that makes music. There's set apart wear, including a cap, t-shirt, all that kind of stuff. I don't make zits anymore because of some of the conditions I've got going on, but I did leave all the examples and the blueprints for you guys to see. So all the information is still available in that. That's the only thing that I don't make anymore. But I did want to leave you guys some examples. We've got copies of Second Address, for example, complete scrolls. Yeah, kind of goes on and on here. We've got materials, including how to get a ram's horn shofar. Let's see. These supplement patches and some things that we kind of like use within our group. Probably needs to be a little bit more updated. Resources, articles, Behold a Pale Horse by Cooper, which we talked about earlier this week. CJ Coster's book, Come Out of Her, My People, is in here. Yeah, it kind of goes on and on. Anyway, so there's the Tahalim access again, which is songs of praise. If you need to connect to me to for any reason, right here, hit Nazareth, and you've got my YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram. This we don't say on this day, and then email down here. If you guys need to get a hold of me, it's nazareth7@gmail.com. And let me know if you guys have any ideas of what we should do in the future. What else we got? That's kind of the overall basic. Each tab kind of provides something a little bit different. But yeah, definitely go check that out. Go check out the ambassadorsofYAHUAH.com homepage. I think I've done enough plugging. Okay, let's get to it. What was I saying? I don't have any conditions, y'all. Okay. So, the reason for getting the Brave browser is that like you can still be connected to probably the largest search engine there is in the world, but with some privacy, you know. Hebrew and Strong's Concordance. I don't know where this is gonna. I probably should have thought about this beforehand. But hey, that's kind of how it works whenever you think, oh, I've got to look that up before I forget, you know. So maybe this is kind of helpful too. Let's see if we can do it this way. You could probably bookmark this and it would get you a lot of places. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I'm going to say Strong's Concordance. I'm just going to take that off. It's easier when you go to search later if you have less. Okay. So what I'm actually looking for is the term Hebrew. You know, whenever they say, oh, he's a Hebrew Israelite, or, you know, just using it in a sentence. But we can find actually some references to the Hebrew. So like Genesis 14:13. Mind you, I'm just a student, so don't take everything I say, you know, definitely go and do your own research. But this is coming from a student, and probably will always remain a student. I will always be learning. So when it comes to finding some of these terms, you'll notice that whenever you do click on these, they do tend to morph, which is why I do a right click, open new tab, because I don't want to lose this place. Just a little helpful tip. The Hebrew slaves. See, this is the kind of context I'm looking for. The servant, the Hebrew. Okay. So Ha meaning the, Abry meaning Hebrew. Okay. And we could have got this same information here. 5680 is this same reference here, 5680. But I wanted you to see it in context, the servant, the Hebrew, how it's written originally. So it reads like this. And she spoke to him with the words like these, saying, came to me, right? So in English, that doesn't sound right already. But this is kind of like how it I guess you could say translates. So came to me the servant, the Hebrew, whom you brought to us to mock me. Okay, so that's how it reads. If you read it reference by reference by reference. Okay. Let me see if I can get it up here. Genesis 39:17. Just for some easier reading. Why does it always do that? Is that like a hemisphere thing? Every time I type in 39 first, it brings me 17. I don't know what that's about, but I'm gonna go and I'll just fix it. If somebody can tell me if that's like a hemisphere issue, it probably, if I were just to guess. Gotta make it scroll through. You don't have to do it this way. I'm kind of doing it the hard way. I'm doing it the stubborn way, I guess. But I'm just already here. 39:17. It reads like this. And she spoke to him these words, saying, the Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came in to mock me, to mock me. To me to mock me. Okay, so that reads quite a bit different than this. The parallel. We'll call this the parallel Hebrew. So, but I show you the parallel Hebrew because this is really easy to get the breakdown versus, watch this. Genesis 39:17 interlinear. This is not quite there. Versus this, where you're like, okay, first of all, where's 17? And she spoke to him the words. So you're reading, you can learn to read like this, and it's actually, the more familiar you get with this is probably better. But for the purposes of this, this is basically all we really came here to look for, was the term Hebrew or Abry. So this just looks, if you're brand new to this does look a little bit more confusing. That's why I brought you this version. So 5680 Abry is how I guess the curly locks say it. I don't, the term totally escaped me because they're not Abry. Anyway, I don't know why I got rid of that link tree. I sure did need it. I needed the, oh, not resource. I needed the docs with the graph, or whatever you call this thing, chart. 5680 begins with this looks like a Y. I think we could all concur since we're mostly English speaking here, or at least English knowing. So you're probably going to say, oh, that might be it right there. That, but do you see what else it could be? This one. And I'm going to show you on the other chart, if I can find it. Here we go. So you've got Aleph, which is an A. We know there's no E. And then there's Ayin. I'm going to blow that up. Ayin. We know there's no E. We know there's no O. And this is the same letter that well, oh, that it ends in. That Yahusha ends in. I don't typically use the AI here at the top, but you can see that Y right there, or it looks like a Y in English, right? But it's the Ayin, right? So it looks like it begins with that if you're not used to looking at Hebrew, but it actually begins with this, the Yod. So let me get a text box. So right off the top, we got an A. This letter here. We did go over this last time. Yeah, I think we did. Would be bait, because we do not have a V, we have a B. A bait. Oops. Wipe that out. And then now, this is probably one of the easier, because it kind of looks like what it is. It's just backwards from what it looks like in English. To me. Down here, Resh. And if you were to download the keyboard, you could see them side by side. They are a little bit different. But they're kind of hard to tell apart just singularly in that way. I did find, oh. There it is. I did find a couple that I bookmarked, but they've got the vowel points and some extra nonsense. But here's the one we're just talking about, the Rosh right here. It's essentially R. And this letter, which is the same letter that Yahusha does begin with, that to give you a tip off, that would be Yod. I don't know why some of these look super, I don't know, distinct and modern, and then the other chart represents it a little bit better. See? To me, that looks a little closer. And on this chart, that looks a little closer. The Yod. So, these are your letters. Not Abry, but Abry is closer. So when you're saying Hebrew, this is what you're saying. Oops, let's go up. What else? We should do Shalom. I don't think we did Shalom last time, did we? So we are Abry, right? We speak Abry. Let's see if we can do a direct search from here. Peace is the English word for shalom. Would anybody in the chat like to start us off with that first letter? First glyph. Hit me. Hit me in the chat. What do you think it is? I'm going to work on the others. You guys work on that. Again, you're only doing this letter here. You're only doing this one. I'm gonna give y'all just a couple seconds. And I'm gonna fill in the rest, okay? I'm gonna show you a reference though. I'm gonna scroll. I'm gonna leave you a space. And here's my letter. And here's my last letter. Everything we need's here on this page. Just so you know, this is like a cheat, like a quiz. A quiz with a cheat sheet, if you know what I'm saying. So here's my letter, my last letter. Okay, we did get a few responses. And if you said SH, Yehukanah and Maverick, and Kane, yes, yes, yes. Amat. You got it. That'd be a SH. And so if we fill in the blanks like we do the word for peace, right there. This is, for reference, this is peace offerings specifically. Okay. So this is 8,002. How are we doing on time? I think we're okay. So keep in mind, this is 8,002. Peace offerings. Okay. There will be a little bit of a difference. So I don't think we got Abry's. We can go back. 5680. Okay. Take a screenshot if you need to, or save your timestamp. Now I want to show you peace again, but this time I want to show you completeness, soundness, welfare, that kind of peace, as opposed to what we just talked about. A sacrifice of alliance, friendship, peace offering, etc. So what we're about to talk about is 7965, right? $7965 shalom. Take a crack at it. What? If you want to spell out the whole word, I'm going to let you. I'm not going to hold you back. But in the chat, if you want to go ahead and start filling in the blanks, interpret these glyphs from right to left. You see the way I'm highlighting it? And there's plenty of cheating going on here because we just filled out this version. Yeah, there's two. Okay, so we know it starts with SH, right? Because we just did a little quiz there. And even if you kind of want to cheat to the previous version, right? We gotta look at their side-by-side similarities, right? We're only missing one glyph, aren't we? If you want to name just the missing glyph, you're welcome to do that too. I need a water break. Okay. So you got completeness, soundness, welfare, peace. That's what we're working on. Let me slide it down here. Right here. Okay. So SH. We know if this one is a lamed, this one is a lamed, right? This is just kind of inference, right? Maybe you don't know Hebrew yet. Maybe you're not even familiar with the chart, but this is like inference, really. So it's kind of like fill in the blanks as much as you possibly can, and then like a test. You do all the questions you know, and then you come back to the ones you don't know, right? And so we know if this one is a mom, then this one it would be as well. So N. So what are we missing? We're missing something here. Yes, JJ got it. Ha ha ha. All right. Gadul. That means great. All right. So the missing glyph is here. And let me show you on the chart. I wanted you guys to think a little bit harder on that one. But here it is essentially. We know it's not OU because, or OW because there is no OW, O or W. There is no V, so we know this to be the U, which does make an OO sound or an O sound. Gadul. Yes. So essentially those are your letters, right? So you can fill in the blanks here, or just blank, just one blank on this one. It's just Shalom. So this would be, what did we say this was? We said completeness. I like that. So there's a difference. Now let's add, we already talked about Gadul last time, I think. I can't remember what we talked about last time. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. But I did have something I wanted to bring up as far as somebody had asked me last time, I think, for the word for welcome, I think, but I don't know if it was in a, I feel like that was in a chat for the live stream for Jimmy's. Okay, so this is great because I wanted to show you sometimes Bible Hub is not super user friendly. So if you type it into the search, it's going to spit out something that's not really helpful to what we're doing. So this is why I'm typically searching from scratch. Happy interlinear Hebrew. Search from scratch if you have to. And then it'll usually take you there. I don't know why it's not right now. Let me try a different search box. Okay, at least here we have a reference in case we lose our place. Is that Zechariah 8:19? Okay, but we wanted interlinear. So we'll just use that copy paste to get to our interlinear. Because we want to see it in context to make sure this is the happy that we're talking about. And I'm not saying, oh, I see Shalom. And the peace, YAHUAH Shalom, is and the peace. But that is not what we were looking for. We were looking for happy. Let's try this one, Deuteronomy 33:29. I'm not seeing a happy in that context anyway. Let's try it again. Sometimes it be like that. 1 Kings 10:8. Okay, this should work. This should work. We'll see. Interlinear. Whoop. Okay. I've never seen blessed used like that. Sorry, I got distracted. I've never seen blessed used like that. ASHRY, which is EE sound. So I've never seen that. If you've seen that, let me know. The 835 reference for blessed. Never seen it. It's usually Barak. So that's new to me. So that has once again nothing to do with what we're talking about. Like as far as, oh, I know what I'll do. Hang on. Okay. If all else fails and you can't, I'm kind of cutting it short, you know, for video purposes. I would probably continue to look in this fashion, but you can go back to, again, from scratch and say, I'm going to put it in quotes to see if this helps. Happy in Hebrew. Did somebody ask where I got the keyboard? This keyboard is called lexilogos.com/keyboard/hebrew.htm. You could probably search it and find it that way. Hebrew keyboards. Online. Lexilogos. Some of these aren't free, so just be aware of that. This is another one I looked at. It's a little confusing because these do not these do not correspond. So this is QWERTY. This is like a QWERTY board plus Hebrew board, I guess. Modern Hebrew. Okay. So that was just the first two. There's probably more. Just don't get too caught up in it because it is modern Hebrew and they do have vowel points and whatnot, so. Okay, where was I? Help me. Okay, happy in Hebrew. This was the context I was going for. And I think that's basically what we ran into, but for some reason my memory is slipping in terms of I thought I had it bookmarked, to be honest with you. So it's this AI is saying that that original version we found is pretty close. Like if you wanted to greet, let's see. I don't know where it went. Maybe I got rid of it. Maybe I just need to start over. Happy. It was this one? Happy art, okay. Yeah, we need to find something that's a little more close to a greeting, I guess. To be honest with you, I thought, where did that Strong's Concordance thing go? See if this helps for any reason. ASHAR. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for, which is, okay, I didn't know that. This is another name that is commonly used in relation. Gosh, I got so many windows open. Come on now. I'm going to get rid of these since we already talked about that. Okay, so ASHAR is the name of a person, the son of Jacob. This is great because it's going to give us the origin as well. ASHR. So fill in the blank, ASHAR. And this comes from 833, which means guide. Let's go there. To be happy, to be blessed. This is the verb version. This is the action. To go straight, to lead, to guide. So this is the exact same pronunciation as far as we know. ASHR, ASHAR. The only difference is this is a person and this is an action. So ooh, I keep hitting the mic. ASHAR. Right? Because that'd be the only one that we assume is that letter. It's a long list. You'll find this with Hebrew that it's like things have double meanings or triple meanings but a lot of times it's they seem to be kind of neutral and they can go one way or the other. And I'm gonna maybe hopefully show you an example of that. So it's a kind of long one. So see if we can put this into a sentence. Oops. I don't think we did Shabbat last time. Let's do Shabbat. Yeah, I don't like the way that it does that search. I'd rather start over because I want to. It takes too long to get around to where you need to go if you go by like a King James or an NSB version first. Yes, I'm a real person. Let me in. Okay, this will take us there, right? Because it still has interlinear. Exodus 28. You just take what you get. Don't throw a fit. You know what I'm saying? Remember, there's a lot of debate over what this means. Remember, day, the Sabbath, it to sanctify. Yeah, it to sanctify too. Okay, so let's read that in Angerish. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Remember the Sabbath day to set it apart. Okay, so we are referencing the day called the Sabbath, so you know. But the way you're going to see it here is actually HaShabat. This, we talked about this last time. This glyph looks like apparently 3 different glyphs, but the way I tell this apart is because the H has a break right there, right at the top. Let me show you the comparisons. This would be the Chet, no break, right? And the top, no break, but it does have this little flare here on the bottom. So that's how you know those apart. So we know with this break, it means H. For our purposes, not super important, but for purposes of reading the scripture as it is written exactly, this ha means the. And combined with this is 7676 on reference. Anybody would like to go ahead and fill that out in the chat, you are more than welcome. It's right here, from right to left. This is kind of like the phrase that we're trying to complete. This is going to be the same reference, really. It's just this is the intensive form. 7673, which is the verb, the action, as opposed to the noun. So this would be the day called the Sabbath, and this would be what you do, what you actually do on the Sabbath. 7673. I think that's important. They are the same, so I didn't take you far from your day work, not your homework, your your day work. And 7673, which is probably the first reference. This would be the verb, this would be the noun. To cease, to desist, to rest. I've also seen it written as intermission. I did that on the wrong side. Undo. I don't remember which one's undo. I don't get on my laptop enough for all that. Undo. I knew that. Control Z, I knew that. Okay. First glyph. Let me bring it here. It's going to be your... Where did it go? There's your hint. All right, we already know it starts with a SH, but there's your proof, I should say. And this is going to be your bait in the middle there. Let me show you. Bait. Not a V, but a B. Like a boy. And last one, we talked about this. There's 3 different ones that look pretty much the same to the perhaps untrained or just unlearned eye. It's not this one. This one has the break. It's not this one. It's not flary enough. It would be this one. Top. Okay. Top. So what you'll notice about this, in either version, the 7673 or the 7676, you see 2 B's here, and you see a TH. It is not so. This is a SHBT. Shabat, not Shabath. So, just so you know. Shabat. So here to be your phrase today. If you wanted to say you learned a phrase, you're saying Hebrew peace, happy rest. That's what you're saying. In Abry, that's Abry SHALUM, ASHAR SHABAT. And one of you, let's see here. I had some notes. One of you submitted that you wanted to see your name in Abry. Let's start again. I get too confused. Okay, it was for JJ, aka Uverna. Uverna. Correct? Let me know if I got that wrong, but I believe that's from my memory. Name meaning. Transliteration versus translation. Just as a reminder, just a quick reminder. Translation conveys the meaning. So that's what we're looking at this moment. Transliteration we're going to go over in a minute. But the meaning, if we're going by translation, Uverna name meaning, right? Okay. She and I did discuss, because I wanted to make sure that we were coming from a similar starting point, or at least that we knew some of the same information starting out. So this is a Latin word, essentially. So it was an actual person in the 1st century. This would be the masculine version, which is a surname, by the way. I don't know how it can be masculine and a surname, but that is what the hijacked Wikipedia has told us. If you know, Wikipedia is having some issues. It got hijacked by basically the founder got locked out or whatever. Let me see. I had taken some notes. Let me just bring up those notes. Those notes did not serve me. Okay. Verna, name, meaning, origin. I'm gonna try something a little differently. Okay, this is what she and I both came to the original conclusion of, is that it's the form as the Latin name that means from Ireland or Irish. But you may ask, Ireland name meaning, because we want to go as far as this goes, I guess. You know, that's kind of the point. So, in essence, it really means fertile land, abundant land. So, we could get into more of this a little bit later, but using the same method we were kind of already using. This is the word here for rich, fertile, and I don't mean it this way, but you know what I mean. Well fed. So this would be the version of, or the Abry version, which is SH, right? We've done a lot of this SH glyph today. Right here. This glyph, which you're going to see one of 2 different ways. Don't be confused. You're going to see it 2 different ways. This way is pretty common, but that's not how we're seeing it here. Right here, you're going to see the 2 side by side. One is more modern. Don't ask me which one. I used to know, but when you download this much information to your brain, you're likely to forget. I will remember over time. But this would be one of a few different letters that has a couple different modern and older representations. I guess we could, let's do this. Start a new one for you here. I've got SH, M, and we just passed this one on the way over to the mem is the Nakash. Also has 2 different options as far as the look of it. We fill in the blanks. And this is Shaman. 8080. Okay. So that's part of the word Ireland. Part of it, right? Because it means fertile land. So this would be part of that. The adjective or the verb or adjective part of that. Okay, you with me so far? Correct. There are no E's. No E's, no O's, no I's. Yes, that's correct. So we need to complete the rest of that, right? So we looked up fertile. Now let's look up land. Now, let's see. Okay, so hang on one second. I need to make a note to myself. So I think I had a something saved that I need to look up for this specifically. I don't want to miss it. Okay. So for whatever reason, AI just happens to be right, but this is going to be earth, land, ground, country, which we already know to be arats. We talk about this word a lot. ARTS. And let me show you here. Aleph. Rosh. And then your TS is Zaid, which can look one of two ways. In this instance, it looks like this one here on the left. Zaid. So A R A implied TS. Okay. 776. And I'm putting these up here for you and for anybody else who, who might need to see the reference. And the reason I'm not copying the Hebrew also over here is because when you do that in any English box or of text, it tends to kind of mess up everything as far as what we're used to using. So, especially with these extra vowel points that I don't need, I'm just gonna refrain from doing that. So, Uverna equals shaman. Whoop. I'm just gonna be more literal, but you get the point. Arats. So this term that also means fertile land is also in the text. I mean, would it surprise you to know that Ireland is in the is in the text? It's not directly as the country referenced, but let's see if we can find it here. Sometimes this will populate, I think you saw earlier, this will populate like a verse for reference, and it's not doing that. Sometimes this is not super reliable, and you just gotta go from scratch again. Don't be afraid to start over. Let's just look at this. I'm going to copy this and tell it that I want interlinear this time. And sorry for this, but I'm going to do it on the paragraph version. It is a little much to consume, but it's going to be necessary at some point. This is not the reference I was looking for. Control find, coming in clutch. Fertile. Ah, here we go. Fertile. Okay, so we have some choices. Isaiah 10:18. Let's try these. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. Come on now. I wonder why they think I'm a robot. Let's go Nehemiah. Is that Nehemiah? 9:35. Yeah. Fertile land. Okay, so it's looking pretty promising here that this is going to be at interlinear. Always giving me the wrong end of the chapter. Love it. We need 35. 35. What? What? Let me just make sure, because sometimes there's a lot of referencing. Self-referential. What's the word? Self-referential? I'm not seeing it. Fertile field. What else was it? Jeremiah 2:7. Jeremiah. I wonder if we can get there this way. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Slightly different. A land of fertility. Arat Sarkamel. Slightly different. Different usage. So that could be a variation. Let's look. Specifically a plantation. So I'm going to say no on that. Okay. I'm going to access the rest of them. Isaiah 29:17. Okay. Yeah, it's getting smarter. I don't know if that's true, but It is populating something. I feel like we just looked here, but it kind of looks, they all kind of look similar in this format. Okay, we did not. Let's talk about Lebanon. Would you call Ireland a fruitful field? Because I think that's more of like it being so green, you know. I'm not leaning away from the plantation feel. But you could. I mean, it just depends on how you interpret that. See, that's the interesting thing about names. If you guys haven't looked at the names through, like, especially like the very first names, they all tell a story. And it's my personal belief that, you know, you choose to obey and you get, you know, your name means something positive, or, you know, just like there's a good Enoch and a bad Enoch, good Hanok, bad Canok, you know. So it is it somewhat dependent on how you participate, I suppose. It depends on who you become, you know. Let me show you. I need to connect my phone. It would just be easier. Whoops. Written, oops, written in Latin, which is the oldest that we can find. I'm going to take it from here. And let's say we would like to see it in English. Oh, volume's off. That's cool. How do we get the volume on? Okay, we can't. Okay. And if we wanted to say in Hebrew, which is, again, grain of salt, it's going to take you to modern Hebrew. This would be your closest modern Hebrew. Other than what I showed you, this would be the transliteration. Remember earlier we said transliteration versus translation? So the first example was meaning, the context, right? The fertile land. And then transliteration would be here, would be this. So this is translation, transliter, because like literally, nation, this would be, I can't copy it, it's going to mess everything up. So this is an aleph, aleph, Yod. Where'd you go, Yod? There you are. Right here. This looks, this is going to be 2 U's side by side. So, here we go. I know it doesn't look it. Let me switch to the other. Some of these look a little bit more modern and less Yiddish, and here we go. Right there. So double dose of that. And we got a resh, or rosh, I should say. Resh right here. And we've got another yod. And another U. Okay, so A, Y, U, R, Y, U. This would be the difference between a translation and a transliteration. Now, not trying to give you homework, but this is going to be something probably more revealing to you, Yuvarna. This is your name, and this is going to be more revealing to you than anyone. So I'm going to leave this part to you, because this is this can be kind of an intimate thing whenever you ask Ruach to reveal this to you. But I'm going to give you just a little crash course on how I did this. So go through on this chart that I gave you, Yuvarna, and go and pick out each letter on every chart. So this chart, as well as this one, use both of them. And this will kind of help give you a more rounded picture. This is not going to be the complete picture, but this will give you a start. Excuse me. This is going to give you a start into a deeper meaning of your name. So start here. So you got the Aleph, the Yod, right here. You've got double U, not W, but double U's. Where did it go? Here it is. Right here. Resh, Rosh. Right here. Back up to Yod, and then back to U again, okay? Now, what you're going to do when you do that, write down what each of these meanings is, because let me show you if you didn't already know. For an example of a name, you've got Yod, Hey, Ua, Hey. So here's what I mean by this is kind of homework between, you know, you and Ruach HaKodesh. So that name, it, you know, of course these have various meanings, but this essentially is hand, right? Hand. And we also have behold, or to look. So hand, behold. And this is also often associated with nail. Let me see if it tent peg is usually how it's referenced. Tent peg, where did it go? I can't say. Okay, here it is. This one shows it a little bit better, in my opinion, but right here. Right here. Tent peg, right? So hand, behold, also known as nail. Nail, behold, because the last character is behold also. So hand behold, nail behold. What do you think? Do you think that's an appropriate name for Yahuwah? Hand behold, nail behold. You see what I'm saying? So that's going to get you closer to the ancient meaning, if you want to put it that way. The ancient etymological meaning. Now, you're going to see there's, multiple meanings, and you're going to have to figure out, again, how that pertains to you. Ask Ruach to lead you in that. And I encourage anybody to go ahead and do such a thing. It was really revealing to me because my name is also Latin and I never identified with it. I felt it was awfully Christian, and I just, even before I knew I wasn't a Christian, I didn't even like to use my name. So now that I know what mine is, mine actually also has let me show you mine real quick since we're here. So I did a reverse translate. I think it goes like this. N. It's hard looking at this thing. NTLY. Okay. So you can see there. This typically in Latin means Christmas child. If you know, you know. So once this became very obvious to me, I was like, okay. The rest of this only, I'm one of those people who searches meanings often, and this was only revealed to me this year. So that tells you something. So if you want to find out your name in Abry, just follow the same method that I did today, and that will help you get the transliteration as well as the translation. So we did both today. Plenty of work always. So with that being said, don't ever stop researching, you guys. Always be in the Word, always be studying. Let Ruach HaKodesh guide you always. And as far as the phrasing that we learned today, Abry Shalom, ASHAR SHABAT, which is Hebrew peace. Happy rest. If you guys have any suggestions on what we should do next, feel free to drop that in the comments. We're going to go away and come right back for Jimmy's live. We're just going to end this particular stream and come right back. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the chat. And again, if you guys need access to any of the stuff that we saw today, go to the Linktree/Nazareth. And you've got all your sources here, your resources and materials, docs, which has the charts, and both of the charts are in this document form here. Free music, all kinds of stuff. All right. You guys have a great Shabbat, a Gadul Shabbat, and we'll see you in the next one.